Does anyone... Can you speak in it?
Hello.
I was going to say that. Probably wasn't going to take anything, but I'm going to turn mine down a little bit because I talk loudly. So, okay. So, it is rolling today, but I'm probably going to cut all this out too because I'm not ready at all. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Sorry. Okay. I could say that 5 times and still not have anything up because I'm literally staring at my screen that I know everything on, but I still haven't looked anything up. Okay. I did find some stories, like even last night, and ones that I've actually saved for a while. And at first I'm like, I'd like to use them, but I didn't know when to use them. And now I've come to the point where I'm like, oh, I have the perfect theme for these stories. They all have something in common. And basically the theme is the audacity, the nerve of these people that they have. So you'll get it. You'll get it. These stories. You'll just be like, seriously? Like, oh,
all right.
Why would they even think that they could do this? And it's so uncommon that these things happen, or these things that you're just like, anyone with common sense would know that this is just outrageous, that you would even think this or act on this. So we'll start with a first one, and this is from subreddit AITAH, which is not the official Am I the A-hole, but it's very similar. Basically, they say the same thing. Am I the A-hole for this?
Sure.
Just a subreddit, different one. I get a lot of good stories from there too. But this one is, am I the a-hole for slamming the door on my ex when he showed up with his newborn? So I'm 40, female, divorced from my ex, 42, male, after 12 years of marriage. He cheated on me with a 25-year-old. They're now married and just had a baby. He's still jobless. She's dealing with postpartum issues, and he literally showed up at my door with the baby, asking me to help him out for a few weeks because I know how to do this. I told him, nope, not my baby, not my problem. I already raised our kids, and I'm not about to raise the one he had with the woman he left me for. Now his family says I'm selfish, and even my mom thinks I should step up. I'm done being the one who fixes his messes. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for choosing peace over playing babysitter for my ex's affair baby?
Yeah, no, I would have closed that door too.
Yeah. Just like...
It'd be one thing if she kept him, but since they divorced and he remarried someone else, I have no duty to or respect to him.
The person he cheated with, he remarried, and they had a baby.
So...
And who knows if... I don't know if this is a baby during the affair. Like, she got pregnant while they were having the affair, and then they got married, and then they had the baby. So then, obviously, it is an affair baby. Or if this is after the affair.
Well, even if, yeah.
Either way, it just makes no sense why he would go to her. I mean, like, don't they have their own? I mean, I get it. He's older, so his parents are obviously probably older. But don't they have any other support system? Friends? Other family? Anyone but her? Like, anyone. I mean...
that just doesn't make sense, but...
I honestly could not imagine if this happened to me, like, if, like, my ex, came up and they're like, I need you to help me with this baby. Like, I am very much a, like, help first and ask questions or do later, even if it's like, I'm a very nice person. I'm too nice of a person. But honestly, I'd probably be like, okay, do this and this and this, or go to these websites and look at this. But that's all I could do. I'm not going to raise and take care of this baby for you.
Especially for a couple weeks.
I mean, he probably... Honestly, this is ridiculous that he's coming to her. I mean, the big difference, 42, 25. So, it's just a young age.
Well,
for her to be with this man who obviously doesn't know how to father or parent.
He doesn't have a job, so.
I mean, there's Google, YouTube. I know we grew up saying the internet is not good with telling you answers, but it is now. There's so much stuff out there that could be helpful.
Books for dummies.
There's literally parenting books for dummies.
Yeah.
And this guy's a dummy.
So he would have been just fine.
Top comment is not the a-hole. He made his choices. Now he has to deal with them. Anyone who says otherwise should offer to help themselves. If they try to push the subject, I would just tell them, okay, well then maybe your partner will cheat on you and have a baby with the other woman. And then when he comes back to your door expecting you to help with that baby, you'll give as much grace as you're expecting of me? No, I didn't think so. OP replied to that saying, right? Like, it's always be the bigger person until it happens to them, and then it's a whole different story.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even her mom had said to step in. And I think that's just maybe because...
Unless her mom's more like that kind-hearted where...
Kind-hearted, or maybe she really still likes him, the ex,
Could
and
be.
is just like, oh, just help him out. You guys have had a marriage together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the least you can... I don't know. Honestly, she doesn't owe him anything. That's
No.
the thing. And I get it. It's, don't hold grudges and don't be looking for revenge and all that stuff, and don't do it out of spite. But basically, she literally owes him nothing. And I think what she did was fine. She didn't involve herself with a bigger mess that I think was going to happen in the future. Did he know? Like, did he tell his now wife, mother of the baby, that he was going to his ex?
His ex-wife?
His ex-wife to help? Like, if she didn't know that, like, I would, if I was that new mother, wife of this man, I'd flip out and say, why did you go to her? And then that's just a huge mess. Mm-hmm. Like, for them,
Yeah.
it's a huge mess for the ex to see that she has to get involved. Like, I'm sorry. Just stay out of it. You guys ended bad. Your marriage ended bad. You guys have split up. You've started new lives. Keep it that way. Unless you're involving your own children because you guys are co-parenting still them.
Yeah.
But they're 40. They're in their 40s or mid. So they don't probably have the super young children anymore. So, no. Honestly,
Even if I've done it 100 times,
I think
I'm not going to do it for you.
Honestly, I think what she did was when she says for choosing peace over playing babysitter. I think that's worded right. She did
fair.
chose peace. That's just keep it at that. Stay separated. Don't get involved anymore. You guys are done. Over. Let it be that way. Move on peacefully with your lives. And he needs to grow up and actually learn how to take care of a child that who knows if he wanted it or not, but he's now stuck with, and he needs to be a dad.
Yeah.
At 42.
42.
At 42. So ridiculous. Okay. That was just like a quick first one to start with, but I was just like, the audacity for my ex to show up at my door with his
New baby.
affair's new baby. So, okay, next one. Oh, this was off the subreddit. It's actually Charlotte Dobre. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's someone on YouTube and other areas. I don't know if I can't even tell if she's an influencer, but she also, that's how I've kind of seen her through like Facebook and Instagram or like TikTok, where she would tell Reddit stories or like listener readings and like Bridezilla stories. She has her own subreddit and her own YouTube to say these stories. But this one was posted only on her subreddit. And shout out to Charlotte Dobre because I love you and your stories and your reactions. She's pretty hilarious. But this one's called Am I Overreacting? And I love Am I Overreacting stories. They are so crazy out there, what people will post out there thinking like, no, why would you even post this? This is dumb for you to even ask that. You should know this yourself. But this one says, am I overreacting for considering leaving my husband after he secretly paternity tested our kid? So it says, buckle up, potatoes. This one's a doozy. Don't know why they said potatoes, but that's hilarious. So buckle up, potatoes. This one's a doozy. My husband 44 male, and I, 41 female, got married in our early 20s. When I was younger, I had always felt pretty strongly that I didn't want kids, but my husband did, and we naively thought we'd figure it out. Luckily for him, as I got older, I started to feel more open to it. We eventually started trying to have kids in our mid-20s, but after a few years and some failed fertility treatments, our doctors told us we would probably never have kids without IVF. The issues were mainly with my husband, low/lazy swimmers, so I figured the universe was secretly saving me, but I decided to stay off birth control to leave the door open. Fast forward 10 years, I surprisingly got pregnant in my late 30s. We were beyond excited and welcomed a daughter into our family. We decided to actively try for another child, and a year after our daughter was born, I got pregnant again, first try, with our son. They are now 3 and 1.5 years old. Both our kids look like me, especially my daughter, who looks exactly like I did as a child. They both have brown hair and hazel eyes, while I have brown hair and eyes, and my husband has red hair and green eyes. Anyone who took high school biology would know that as the person with the darker complexion, I have the dominant genes, and the chances of our kids having coloring similar to my husband are slim to none. But I disagree. Anyway, everybody thinks they look like me and have little resemblance to my husband, and this is where it gets sticky. My husband recently confessed that he's sometimes worried that he was not the biological father of our kids. I was furious. I have never cheated or given him any reason to doubt me in 20 years of marriage. I followed him all over the world. He is in the military, sacrificing time with my family and my career stability. I've worked my butt off to take care of him, us, and all the things he didn't have the time or energy to deal with. The home, cars, bills, dogs, family birthdays, the list goes on. And he had the audacity to tell me he wanted a paternity test so he could quiet the intrusive thoughts he kept having because our kids don't look like him. I was furious, but I laughed it off with an inner, oh heck no, because the idea is just ludicrous. Like I would go get myself pregnant by someone else when I wasn't even sure I wanted kids in the first place. Seriously, WTF. Mm-hmm. Fast forward to this week when I'm going through our credit card statements and see a hefty charge at the CVS near his work. I asked him about it, and he admitted that he had purchased a paternity test and secretly tested our daughter while I was sleeping and didn't tell me. I am livid. I feel like he just pissed all over 20 years of marriage. Also, he could get rid of some completely baseless, intrusive thoughts that maybe our kids weren't his. I'm not sure I can overcome his breach of trust and lack of faith. I am seriously considering telling him I want half of everything, alimony, child support, and majority custody, and leaving his ungrateful butt. Am I overreacting?
I can see that in a couple different perspectives.
This is hot off the press. It happened 17 hours ago that she posted this. So it's pretty new. I don't think she's overreacting as to this is just crazy that the husband did this behind her back.
Yeah. But
I don't know if this means to divorce on the spot, obviously.
I think with
she,
it being that fresh, when you get mad, you jump to the hardest thing that you can do.
Yeah.
Without thinking it through or taking time. But yeah, I can see where she would come from that. But then again, you do have the 20 years, and maybe he's just dumb and doesn't think, oh, my darker complected or haired whatever wife, our kids, he's got all recessive traits, so unless she's passing those down too, their kids aren't going to look like him with those traits.
Yeah, it is you will never know what your kids are going to look like. And the thing is, they could look completely like one and not the other, or have a little bit of both. Like, think of our kids. We have my oldest, who is a very good blend between us. Looked exactly like her dad for a long time in the beginning, and as she got older, looked way more like me. Second one, had dark hair when he came out, but then he started getting blonde hair.
Yeah.
And that was a shock because we're both brunettes. We got the Mexican gene, so obviously that kind of dominates with all those dark hair and eye and everything features.
Yeah.
But I also have brown eyes and dark hair. So it was a shock between us, but I do have family genes that has red hair and blonde hair. And I was the dominant gene in my family, whereas my siblings had more of the recessive gene. So that random recessive gene that I had somehow made it out of everyone to my son. And then the third one looks literally like another mini-me.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing. They always come out looking exactly like Justin. Everyone says that.
Yeah,
And
they
a
do.
lot of people say that. They come out looking exactly like the dad. And then as they get older, you'll see the mom more in them. And they do. They all look like me. If you see pictures, you can see a lot of my facial structures and everything in them. But yeah, you can still see a blend between both of them. And I think this husband's overreacting himself.
I think he's just being a little bit dramatic, and he doesn't know how to process that. And
He needs to go to maybe therapy.
it's one thing to go to your wife and be like, hey, just for my sake, can we do this? Like, it's one thing to ask. It's another thing to just do it behind her back without asking.
That's a stab in the back, I
and
think.
that's where I can see where that anger or that loss of trust from him, because he didn't come to her and be like, just to clear myself, can we do this?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it would have been a completely different conversation for that.
I agree. I mean, okay, is this divorce worthy? I think you need to really dig deeper into it. The damage has already been done by him. And that was a huge part on his end to go behind his wife's part back to get this test done. Honestly, if this happened to me in our marriage and Justin did this, I'd feel the same way. I'd be so overwhelmed with, there'd be lack of trust. I would be filled with anger thinking, how could you do this to me and not even talk to me first?
Right.
So I'd lose that trust with him. Now, is that going to be a deal breaker in the marriage altogether? You got to try first. And he's in the military. So they're huge in keeping marriages together. Like, they're huge on trying to help out with the marriage. So honestly, if you guys are both agreeing to it, I think you should try getting some counseling and dig deeper into this than what the husband has been able to open up to.
Yeah.
That's my thought. Not everyone's going to agree with that, obviously. They're going to be like, nope, this is a deal breaker. I can't even look back at our marriage and ever get over this. And it would be it would be a hard thing to get over. Like, you're always going to look back thinking, well, are you going to do this behind my back, or are you going to trust me? It's going to be that spiteful little bickering back and forth that is going to bring up many fights, obviously. But people have gotten over bigger things. I know this is big, but they have gotten over, I know plenty of people who've gotten over bigger issues through very good marriage counseling.
Yeah.
Even if they needed to take time from themselves. Like, don't separate, but maybe take some time. Take a vacation by yourself and cool off a little bit. Like, you maybe need a time to cool. Go to your own therapy sessions, like just individual therapy. Therapy can do wonders. More people need to probably do it than making rational decisions, like, on the spot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. At this point, it's to each their own on what they think they can do. But I always recommend people, like, try to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Really trying, like...
Because he may have some more
honestly,
issues
these
on his end.
intrusive thoughts, there's got to be a bigger, deeper thing going on with him. And I think he himself definitely needs some therapy.
Yeah.
If he would have gotten therapy to kind of get him through the reasoning of why he's feeling this way, honestly, I think it would have helped them and avoided this whole issue. But because he did the worst thing possible
Yeah.
he could have done, I don't know. What were you thinking, man? What do you think you were gonna? Were you thinking that you were gonna hide this? Be able to hide this from her? Like, she takes care of all the finances.
Yeah. Or...
She takes care of everything. How is she not gonna see that you paid for this thing? And the daughter, I know the daughter's what, 3 now, and but still 3-year-olds are very forthtelling on. They're just so blunt, so honestly brutal. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, daddy took some blood from me or took a hair, and
yeah,
just so yeah. I don't know. Of course, top comment says, not overreacting. He proved he's willing to throw away decades of trust over his intrusive thoughts. It's a sign he never really trusted you and your commitment to your vows. What do you do with this revelation is tricky. You likely will need individual and couples counseling, and you'll be asking yourself if what your husband did is a deal breaker. Exactly what we said. Yeah. This one is very, I would have felt super betrayed, not sure what I would do. Your husband shouts from the mountaintops that he doesn't trust you at all. What do you do with that is a tough question. Not one woman I know would blame you for kicking him out of, oh wow. Not one woman would blame you for kicking him in the crotch. Divorce would be very tempting. Maybe counseling, but geez, maybe he needs reduction in basic biology. Re-education. Oh my word. I missed an E there. Reduction. I didn't know that was, my bad. My eyesight. I think my contacts are not working today. So, re-education in basic biology, which honestly, we learned this simple, it's a table and I can't remember what it's called, but it's the, basically in biology, you would take 2 genes of each parent, you do the 4 diagram box, and you would basically take each one and see what child would basically have the genes of.
Yeah.
So it's basic high school biology that this guy...
He may not have been a smart one in school.
I was going to say, anyone
paid attention.
Anyone can go into the military, whether they smart or not. So you're right about that. But still,
who knows?
I don't know. I'm glad that Reddit, these at least 2 top ones, a lot of them probably say way worse, but basically at least the top 2 I'm seeing are very much a counseling. I mean, would it be easy to say divorce? It's like, it's tempting. I mean, obviously you feel super betrayed, and that is a huge word that describes this, is that she feels betrayed. How do you recover from that? How do you go forward with this marriage with that always on your mind? But yeah, I think it's worth a shot trying to get couples counseling and individual counseling to see where you can go from here. If that ends up in divorce, that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad that this thing happened. This one thing that this guy could have taken care of a while ago just blew up their marriage this way. So, OP did respond to the one that said, I would feel super betrayed. She says, oh no, sorry, he didn't. Or she didn't. It says, if OP decided, this is someone else who's basically saying something else. If OP did decide to say, they have to build an entire new one, and he needs therapy. This isn't just a simple Punnett square class. Punnett square. That's what it was. That's the biology's 4 square that you would basically do. He fundamentally didn't trust her and believed she cheated with at least the daughter. If the son and daughter look so much alike, why not test them both? This is some misogynist red pill nonsense he got going on that needs reprogramming. I don't know if we go that far. Honestly,
it's a 1-year-old, and it's easier probably to take DNA from a 3-year-old than it is a 1-year-old too.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't agree that this maybe is some misogynist red pill nonsense. I don't know. Have you ever heard of red pill?
I don't know.
Okay. Basically, it's like a man, it's a very misogynist man thinking of the old ways, how women can't be better than men. And basically women have to do all the house chores and cooking and cleaning, and men should just go to work and come back. Basically, it's a huge, there's like a bunch of podcasts and videos out there that some guys might be starting to listen to. And I've heard some stories that it's like relationship. They like test a relationship and it's like horrible. Okay. I will have to find some stories about that. But yeah, I don't know if it's that. I honestly think he's got some very deep insecurities that I don't know if people, because the kids don't look like him, I wonder if he's heard it enough times from people that I'm wondering if it dug into him deep enough that he started becoming insecure about it himself.
And he can have his own family on his side being like, are you sure that's your daughter or your son? And that's, if it's people that are his family and he trusts, I mean, I can see where that could be, but also, again,
honestly, the cracks are forming, and because maybe enough people have talked to him and maybe have put in some doubt into him, they're now seeping into those cracks, and those cracks are starting to break. And the part where it broke was when he actually did get the paternity test behind his wife's back. So, yeah, OP, if you're listening, I would try counseling first. Definitely your husband needs counseling on his own, and you guys maybe need some marriage counseling to see where this marriage can go from here. But yeah, I would say I would really try and get some counseling just to see what the future is going to look like from now on, or maybe get some basic understanding of why
the problem is.
Get the root where the problem is. I always say try to work with your marriage first. This is a really bad thing that broke the trust, but yeah, no, there's nothing really more to say about that. It's just counseling. I recommend everyone get counseling, even if you're in a good relationship. There is always something that you guys fight about that could be worked on and improved on. Mm-hmm. Communication is the biggest thing. Justin and I still have to work on that. Almost 10 years of marriage, and we still have to work on that. So, okay. Next, a story. Oh, this is another one. I'll just do all the ones that I've gotten from. This one's from like 2 months ago. This one also is from Charlotte Dobray's Reddit subreddit. And it is, am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend I won't propose until she gets back healthy? So, I, 24 male, and my girlfriend, also 24, have been together since high school. This is, think of your typical high school sweethearts, basketball player and cheerleader, etc. After we both graduated college, we moved together and have been living peacefully. However, she is not as active as she once was and gained some weight. Nothing too much, roughly 30 pounds or so. I still find her extremely attractive, but I just worry about the future and our health. Since she graduated, I do know her job is very demanding and she doesn't have that much spare time to work out. Recently, I have been trying to encourage her to work out, sometimes with me, but she is always pushing back. We have recently been talking about marriage lately, and I told her I would postpone proposing until we make some better life choices. I understand she is fine now, but I'm scared to lose her 20 to 30 years from now due to health complications. After explaining my piece, she didn't say anything. She just got up and went to the bedroom. I waited about 10 minutes and decided to check on her. The door was locked, but I could hear her sniffling. I asked if we could talk, and she said no. I told her I still want to marry her, and that thought never left my mind. She then told me if I can't accept her for who she is now, I don't deserve her when she is at her best. She told me she knows she gained weight and just thought it was happy weight, as she likes to put it, and she didn't think I felt the way about her weight. I told her the weight is not what's bothering me, just how she stopped caring about her health since she stopped cheering in college. I'm having a hard time reading this because I apologized because I did not want to make her cry. It even choked me up to hear it. We exchanged some more words before she packed her suitcase and left. It's been 3 days and I've been calling her constantly. I just recently found out that she's been staying with her sister because her sister finally picked up for her and tore me a new one. Her sister and I have always been on good terms because my older sister, my girlfriend's older sister, are best friends, which is how we actually ended up together. It felt horrible to hear the words she was saying to me. Not only that I knew my sister had to already know because they tell each other everything. So I called my sister and she was as equally pissed. She told me she would accept the behavior from our younger brother, but not me. I'm just so lost right now and I want her to come home. I feel like an a-hole, but I genuinely just cared about her and us for the long run. Am I the a-hole?
Yes.
Yes.
Because he's not indicating that she's like smoking and drinking and doing drugs where her health in 20, 30 years is going to deteriorate that bad. I mean, people gain weight after college, especially if you're not physically active. And then if she gets pregnant and they have a family, she's going to gain that baby weight. If they have multiple kids, she's not just necessarily going to lose that baby weight. And then she's going to get older. I mean, she's going to carry that weight. I mean, it's just that's just life.
Yeah.
You can still be fit, sure. But for only gaining 30 pounds...
Honestly, that is not much.
That's not a whole lot. And
And she probably is a skinny thing anyways if she was in cheerleading and she's been cheering.
She was fit enough. And then
she was from high school all the way through college right away. And then she comes after gaining that happy weight because they're living together. They're living as like a married couple. So they're content. They're happy. They're living comfortably. I like her happy weight because I call that... I got into my comfortable zone when I got married, and that's when I gained weight. I had my oldest before getting married, and after giving birth, I actually got back down to still a good, decent weight, and we got married, and it was when we were living together, I started gaining all this weight because it was like I wasn't routinely like trying to check on myself. I was just like, I was comfortable. Mm-hmm. It was like, we can do whatever we want kind of thing. And we had a child to care for. So we kept kind of like forgetting the activities we used to do before.
Yeah. And if they weren't like a fitness couple from the beginning, like, and fitness was only in their like activities, like his sports and her sports. Afterwards, if you're not still continuing that together, why would she do it on her own if she's got other things to worry about?
If he's not, because I mean, I get it, she's busy, so with work, she's been working a lot, so she hasn't had that time to go to the gym or work out. He somehow has some time to do it. He's probably very focused on he has gained some weight, but it's not looking as much for him as it is to her, because women we gain weight faster. It's harder for us to lose weight, and it's just how our bodies were built. Guys can just boom, like they gain that weight and they can lose that weight as soon as they start working out again. It's just crazy. I absolutely hate it how that happens. But yeah, honestly, 30 pounds is nothing. I actually probably gained more weight when I was going into college, and I actually looked a lot healthier because of it, because I was super skinny in high school, and then I started gaining more weight. And I was still fit, but I was gaining that muscle more and some weight in other areas that actually made, like, my arms were toothpicks. And then all of a sudden I look at pictures later and I'm like, oh, that actually looks like a normal weight. But I thought I was fat after I had a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how bad it is. The weight I was maybe 5 years ago, I said I looked fat then. And I would take that weight now over what I am now.
Take that old body back.
I'd be like, man, I look better. I looked healthy and fine, and I probably would have been able to move a lot faster then than I am now. And I'm just like, the thing is, I'm so glad I've never had to deal with that with Justin.
And to females are just so emotional. Some are extra, so you just gotta
And the reason for postponing, basically, he's like, oh, I'm thinking of postponing a proposal.
So you
can't
tell a woman,
oh my word,
big life experience like that, you're going to push off. And then in her mind, you're kind of disgracing her for her weight. So until she fixes that, then she gets what she wants, which is that marriage proposal. Well, and that's not a win-win for anybody. That's just a loss on twice over on her end.
Basically, he's saying, I don't want to marry you until you've lost some weight.
Until you look like what you did in college and stay that way for the next 50 years of our marriage.
Yeah, I honestly, I understand she is fine now, but I am scared to lose her in 20 to 30 years from now due to health issues or complications. I'm like,
And gaining weight.
hello? She didn't gain 100 pounds.
Yeah.
She gained
and she's
30
not doing
pounds.
the, like I said, she's not, like, drinking herself. You know, she's not doing drugs where...
That is not a real health
Exactly.
complication.
So-
Oh my word, that is not a huge health issue.
She may have a high cholesterol down the line.
That is baby
but
weight, and that's nothing.
That can be taken care of. Have some Cheerios.
And that's what I liked her. What she said. If you can't, let me see.
You can't handle her 30 pounds now.
Yeah,
you're not
then
going to
you
handle
can't.
her 50 pounds in the next 15 years.
Well, she doesn't. He doesn't
she gains
deserve
more
her
weight
at.
or
What is it? If she doesn't want to marry, if he doesn't want to marry her now, like I like what she said. You don't deserve me at my best.
Yeah,
and that's right, because in life anything could happen. What if he also all of a sudden gets into a car accident or some horrible accident? Loses his job. He can't do anything. He's on the couch. He's probably gained so many pounds because he can't move around because of this accident. She's got to take care of him. There are so many things I've heard about stories how they take care of that person no matter what happens, because that is what the whole reason or purpose.
Or accidents where there's amputations, there's being paralyzed, things like that. I mean,
things happen in life, and if you're gonna marry someone, you're gonna love them for
who they are,
not for what they look like.
Yeah.
Yes, if this was like they were super overweight, you saw how their diet was, and they've had health complications already because of this.
That'd be one thing.
That would be one thing, and yes, like
if it was a lifestyle.
If it was a lifestyle,
then
and
that's
still,
one thing.
Honestly, like that's still not even the thing. It's just saying that's something you guys could do together and figure out. Or if that's a I guess a deal breaker for you, then you shouldn't be even mentioning about marriage. If you really want someone to be more focused on their
physical appearance,
physical physique and appearance and gym life or whatever. I know people that are like that. And that
but they usually find someone who is like that to balance both of them out. And
I know this was high school all through college, but sometimes those people change. That's 8 years of all through high school and college right there. So they've been together for quite a few years, and people change. You met someone 5 years later, they could be a completely different person.
Yeah.
Have a completely different point of view of things.
Mindset.
How they want to work on their health, or maybe they don't want to work with their health. They just figured,
And there's some people who can eat whatever they want and not gain a pound. And there's some people who look at a cupcake and gain lots of pounds. So
that's me. I barely look at all that stuff, and I'm like, I know I ain't gonna be losing any weight today.
So
no, oh my gosh, this just made me boil, and I'm just so mad. So we're gonna go. So top comment in the beginning was she gained 30 pounds, not 100. It is simply disingenuous to say that you were worried about her health and that she would croak in a couple of decades because of 30 pounds. As a woman, her body is going to go through many, many changes throughout her life. Marrying her should not be conditional on whether she takes care of herself or to your standards. Give her space and accept it if she decides she wants to be done with you. There is no walking back with what you said. You are the a-hole. You are the a-hole.
If they do stick together, that's always going to be in her mind that
she's not good enough.
Does she look okay? And when they have, let's say, 3 kids down the line, she's going to think, is my body okay? Things sag more, there's stretch marks, her body's not going to go back to how it is. That's always going to be a reminder in the back of her head. Yeah.
I will say one thing before I go, because there's an update, so we'll say an update, but I will say when I started gaining so much more weight, I was so my self-esteem was dropping, my self-conscious on just where there was so much weight on my body just from having 3 kids, being married, not going back, because I was very active in high school and even in college, the beginning of college before I started having kids and marriage. And after that, I stopped I stopped hard. Like I what is it? Cold turkey. I stopped on doing all that activity. And yeah, that's what happened with my weight gain happened very quickly after getting married because I was done with all the activity that I usually would have done. I was in so many sports and so many different like just extracurricular activities in my school or education. And then after that with a kid and being married, and it slowed down increasingly. Just increasingly amount. It just decreased, and that's where I did gain a lot of weight. I will say throughout the years after being so like self-conscious and telling Justin about it, he would just be like, I just told him like I have so much weight, and he's like, the more for me to hold on to and to love, and I'm like, no,
okay,
but I'm still fat. That's just how women think. Your husband, your partners could say the sweetest things, and women will still have that engraved in their mind because of what other people will post out there saying where you should be at. And the BMI, just what doctors tell you. I mean, the where I am with my height and weight, oh my word, I have to be back to where I basically was in high school, which was 120 pounds.
Yeah.
I look sickly then. I look at pictures back when I was 120, and I look sick. I mean, and I guess that's a normal weight, and I'm sorry, I'm never going back to that weight. I'd be okay with, losing 50 pounds and be like, oh yeah, that feels good. It's little steps. But honestly, I'll never get back to where it's saying I should be at normally for my height and weight. And no, it's not going to happen. I'm a short and stout girl. It doesn't, I just keep getting wider.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Yep.
So, update for this one. Wow, I did not expect this post to blow up the way it did, but here we are. Anyway, we talked about over lunch, and she is coming home after seeing my post on Reddit. She was taken aback at some of the posts. Others, however, were helpful to both of us. Despite with what some people may think, she knows where my heart is considering my past. Considering my past. Okay. I did not feel the need to explain this, but in middle school, I was the tall, pre-diabetic fat kid. By 8th grade, I had completely dropped my weight, and I started playing basketball in high school. So I would never fat shame her. As I once said, she looks fine. But for everyone to keep saying it's only 30 pounds, it's true, but that is 15 pounds every year since we graduated. If you multiply that by 6 or so years, that is 90 pounds, and she is only 5'1". Oh, she is shorty. The thing is, she is used to eating her high-calorie foods and snacking and being able to burn it off easily. I can tell it makes her uncomfortable, and she doesn't like it. Why? Because she's the one who told me she gained 30 pounds and seemed disappointed. I also think some of you missed the point of me offering to do it with her. I generally do care solely on her health. However, if it was just based on looks, which it is not, I still don't think there is anything wrong with wanting your partner to always look their best. Especially when you know they can. Sorry. She understood all of this and was only upset with the marriage part.
I was going to say that.
Rightfully so, honey.
Mm-hmm. You're going to use her looks and weight for the biggest event in her life.
That's
that
a little
she's
bit
wanting.
of manipulation right there.
Exactly.
Which I did agree was a crappy move and insensitive, and told her I would not make it a big deal what she looks like. But she did agree to watch her calories because she did acknowledge she eats and snacks as if she still works out constantly. So I agree I was the a-hole to a certain extent. But I think some of you, not all of you, are clouded by your own personal judgments or experience and projecting without really knowing me. Whatever happened to being innocent until being proven guilty, or the lack of giving people the benefit of the doubt? She knows my heart, and that's all that matters.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her. I'm sorry. I don't care if you were pre-diabetic and you turned your life around. That's not everyone.
And if you're worried about her becoming diabetic, there's a lot of factors that go into someone becoming diabetic. And that's one thing to be like, hey, let's cut out eating out three times a week.
It's a together thing.
Let's make dinner at home. Let's do that. Then do that. Don't be like, I'm not going to marry you until you drop the 30 pounds you gained.
I don't even think that's the thing. I don't even think he even went over and over to come bring it up saying, you know, don't ever just go to your spouse or your partner and be like, hey, you've gained some weight. We need to do this together. Even if you put we need to do this together, you are literally strictly going at her, attacking her. And that just crushes her self-esteem to even want the motivation to work towards being better with her health and all that. I'm sorry, you need to be delicate and sensitive, unless it is like what you said, an extremely harmful thing to your body, smoking or drinking constantly, or you know, even binge eating. I don't think she is binge eating. I'm pretty sure she's just eating like she used to, and her metabolism has slowed down since she's not constantly active. And that is exactly what happened to me. And yeah, did we not probably take care of it as fast as we should have to avoid where we're at these days? No. But we're still working at it together. I have to be sensitive with Justin because he is a man that loves to eat his food.
Yeah.
It's high carbed Mexican food, and I love it too. If he said, let's go out and eat, I'm like, he'll be like, what do you want to eat? I'm like, I want to eat some good food. And by good food, I meant like, we need to go to a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
We need to get some tacos and queso and all that stuff. But
yes.
I've been trying really hard to come up with some lower calorie, higher protein meals, but they are still really good. And for us to make them at home more, so that way we're not going out more, because those foods are not going to be diet approved anywhere, honestly. So I've been trying to still establish good food, but still make it reasonable for us to eat it. We're working on it step by step.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, it's me initiating it, because I've realized we can't be living like this too much longer. We have 3 kids. We need to be careful. To him, if he is going to initiate this to just, maybe he's still really focused on his health, and she isn't, because she's been good all these years with that high metabolism and activity, but now it's slowing down and she has noticed it, but really is like, oh, it's okay. If he really is that concerned with it, he needs to set up a plan for them to do stuff together more. It's a together thing. If you're going to be in there for marriage, for life, and want to help each other out, then you need to do things more together and not just go towards her with that.
Yeah.
It is, and I will say, if you love this woman for who she is, if she does not want to do that right now, and she's okay with gaining that weight, you need to be okay with that. And if you're not okay with that, this is not the relationship for you.
If she's happy at the weight that she is, she's still physically healthy.
She's still a healthy person.
You know, needs to watch it. And if she loses that weight, that doesn't necessarily make her healthy just because she looks better. Especially if you put in mental health in there and her emotions, that could just decrease a lot more than what she is at right now.
Yeah, so honestly, I know, I'm glad she came back, and I'm
glad it worked out.
I'm glad they're going to work things out. Was this the right way to go about it? Basically no. Giving her an ultimatum saying like, oh, I'll postpone proposing until you start basically being healthy, like quotations on healthy. And that was probably a smack in the face, or in reality, thinking like, oh, I thought he was fine this whole time with how I looked. Apparently not. Like, he didn't go about this delicately. He really slid that in there to be, like we said, manipulative.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that you had to go through all that pre-diabetic or that weight back in the day in middle school. Middle school is brutal. You probably got bullied.
It's
and
hard for male and females.
It's hard for both, but you got to know that not all bodies are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Not all motivation of how to get things done or your goal-wise is the same. So,
it'd
honestly,
be the same thing, too, if roles were reversed and she was saying that to him. That would still be a no-no.
It is a no-no. A big no-no. Okay, so we're going to try to do a couple more stories to get us going. I gotta pick out some good ones. No, we won't do that one. That one's a really big one. I need to do that one. We could do that one. And, okay. I'll just do these two. I think that's going to be what we can do. Okay, so this one is, am I the a-hole for not answering my husband when he called? Oh, yeah. Bigger story in the... When I read the title, I'm like, but what was it about?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, at first, just reading... Okay, so off of the title, what would you say? A-hole or not?
I would say it depends on...
I know, you have to know what it's depending on, because honestly, if
it's just because he's calling you and you need to answer your phone, then no. If it's because of a discussion that you're aware of and you're ignoring, then yes.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I've already read it. And obviously, yeah. This one starts as, husband is in a huge snit. She said huge snit about this and has taken himself to the spare room over it. So he's pretty pissed about it.
Okay.
Tonight was the first time since giving birth 7 months ago that I have been out at night. By which I mean I didn't do baby's bedtime feed and routine. I left to go to the cinema with a friend shortly before his bedtime routine would begin. Husband used to help for the first 3 months with evenings, but has since said he's too busy / tired from work, so I do it. I talk him through baby's routine, the room temp, lighting, noise, etc. preferences he has, and husband assured me that he had everything under control. The movie barely started when I started getting calls from husband. I texted to ask what was wrong, and he said baby wasn't sleeping. I texted him back with reminders of how baby prefers things, and he said he had done it all. I checked the baby monitor, which are such a wonderful thing to have these days. I checked the baby monitor. Camera covers most of the room. He could see that the room lights were on. The white noise machine was off, and he hadn't tucked the baby into his blanket. I texted him to say as much, and he started calling me again despite knowing I'm in the theater. He texted me to come home and put the baby to bed.
Yeah, no. Sorry.
I told him I was sure he had everything in hand and put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Rightfully so, honey.
Rightfully so.
I did periodically check on baby via the monitor, and he was okay once husband actually followed the sleep routine. After the movie, I saw that the husband had continued to call me for like the next hour after we spoke. When I got home, he started arguing with me for ignoring his calls and berating me because I left him alone. I offered to show him bedtime for the last 2 days before going out, and he didn't want to know. Am I the a-hole for ignoring his calls and not helping the baby?
Absolutely not.
The audacity, the nerve for this guy to not want to learn, saying he's had everything under control, and then constantly calling her, knowing she wasn't going to answer because she's in the theater.
And it's her first time out in 7 months.
Her first time out. You let that mother be. Let her get that time.
To mention, I'm sure he's gone out plenty of times, or just in general.
He's too tired. he's too busy. No, hon,
Welcome
you
to
just
motherhood.
didn't want to get involved because you knew it was a lot of work.
And he's so used to her doing everything, probably, that he had to
this is why
be the adult in that situation.
Yeah, you need to get involved just to know the basics at least. You know, you don't have to do everything, because if mom does it the best and it's the easiest and you both are mutually understanding that it's just better if she does it and she's okay with that, that's fine. But she tried. She tried 2 days.
And it's one thing if you have like a child that has a little bit more extra needs at nighttime or as a baby for health issues, for you to just ignore and be like, you got it. Yeah, that would be kind of wrong. But if your baby's perfectly fine, you had the steps given to your spouse, and they just chose not to follow it, then no, I would have kept my phone off too.
Yeah, honestly, I'm glad she did, because I would have been furious if if my husband was constantly calling me. Honestly, no. Justin is the opposite. I actually, when I'm out, and this is like when any of our kids were young, super young, after like before 1 year old, and I went out and did something, and I was okay with going out because, you know, if you're nursing, feeding, and all that stuff, it's a lot before a mom can actually go out and do something for an
Be restrictions
hour
all around. Yeah,
there's a lot of restrictions. You can't go out and go for somewhere too long because of the feeding routines and everything. So when I was able to go out finally, I would be like, it would be an hour or so later, and I'd hear nothing, and I'd be like, oh, and that's just me being a mom, being like, oh, did everything go okay? Did everything go? And he's like, yeah. Go enjoy your night. Yeah. He's like the opposite, where I don't hear anything and I get worried because I don't hear anything. I'm just like that person that's just like, did everything go okay? Yeah. Like, I get it, because guys can just, sometimes he's a little too confident with things, and I'm just like, but you didn't see me do any of this, so are you okay? Obviously, he's kind of that wing it person, and he somehow still finds a way to figure it out, which is good. And if it's not done how I usually do it, then I kind of been like, oh, but they like it this way. And he's like, well, I did this and they were fine. And I'm like, I've come to realize after the first and then the second, by the third kid, I was like, I don't care. You can do whatever you want. Yeah. You know, I know you're fine. I trust you. It's like literally that mentality of just the first child, you're just like, whoo, you are so like, extreme, controlling, just wanting to have everything exactly what needs to be done, because if it doesn't, then it's the end of the world and everything. Yeah. But then I started like really loosely like just being like, okay, it's fine. It's going to be okay. If it's not exactly how it goes, if kids don't get the naps they need, we'll adjust. We'll think of it's basically just adjusting to how your schedule is going to go. And at this point, it is what it is. You just go with it. Go with the flow. Just work as you go on and presently. So yeah, this is where I'm glad she put her phone on do not disturb, because she was never going to enjoy the night if she left it on for her husband to call. So this husband, man, do not get mad at your wife who hasn't gone out for the last 7 months, and probably before that when she was pregnant for 9 months as well. Yeah. This woman needed a break. You did not give her that break. You agreed for her to have this break and then threw it back in her face saying, you need to come back home and take care of this baby. Yeah. Like, no. You're
not going to tell me that. Sorry.
Nuh-uh, man. Nuh-uh, sir. You ain't going to do that to me. Mm-mm. So, oh my word, I can't believe he's so mad that he's not sleeping in the same room with her. That's how mad he is. I'm just like,
what do you expect is going to happen the next 18 years? She's never going to leave.
You gave her everything. If you have another kid, then you have 2 kids to take care of, a toddler and a baby, and you have to put both of them to bed, and their routines are very different.
Especially if they have completely different personalities, because no babies are the same.
Nuh-uh. One's going to scream because they hate being put to bed. The other one might love it.
Or might love it, yeah. Will put himself to bed.
You never know. You have those kids that are like honestly, this is how I always think about it. You know, we had a colicky baby. Very bad. Just not bad, but just very difficult to work with because they are constantly just colicky, screaming. You had to jump through so many hoops just to calm them down. Mm-hmm. And then they became a toddler, and they were the best thing ever. They were just so sweet and so cute. And then that's when you're like, I could have another one because they're so cute. And then you have the second one, and they're a sweet baby. They're so good. They're so chill and easy as an infant. They become
the devil.
Then they turn 1, and all hell breaks loose. Like, they are just a nightmare to deal with. You like thinking terrible 2 is they're just barely 1 and I'm having to deal with them acting like this. And then you get the third one, and then I'm just talking about my own experience, guys. Everyone's totally different, but this is how I always think. They're good as a baby, terrible toddler. They're bad as a baby, awesome toddler. Mm-hmm. Our third one came, and she is a wild card all around. So you never know.
She don't listen to nobody.
You never know. No, she doesn't. She is her own boss. We call her the boss baby because she bosses everyone around. She's like the firstborn who became the third child somehow. We got her in the wrong order. So she's our wild card, I tell everyone. But everyone's kid's experience is different. So, sir, I'm sorry. If you really want to make this life easier for a wife to not be so... to not be begrudgingly, like, I don't even know, like, always be mad at you for not being able to take care of something.
Not being able to be a father.
Basically, to be a father. I'm sorry. He says, like, you need to come home and put the baby. Like, it's not even like you need to help me. I am desperate. Like, it wasn't even
not even
pleading.
can you like video call me real quick to make sure, like
honestly,
that's understandable.
He was like demanding her to come home and put this baby down. And I'm just like, this is your child. Treat them like it's your child.
You gotta know something about
flesh
them too.
And blood. And your wife has taken care of this baby all this time and hasn't had a night off for a reason, I'm seeing.
Apparently.
Like, I get it. She probably wasn't comfortable either, and that's another reason. And the one time she's like...
She's gonna know that you can't take care of that kid on your own.
No, and I'm sorry. That's gonna be a huge thing she's gonna see from now on if you're not gonna step up to the plate and actually work on, like, showing effort that you want to take care of your kid. I'm sorry, that's not going to be good for the people see that in their partners. Once they see they have kids, that is another thing. These people can change after they have kids. Mm-hmm. And they see how you parent your kids, and if you don't even want to parent your kids, and that love just whoop, crushed. That image you see of, I mean, I'm sorry, when I see Justin, like, he's on the floor wrestling with the kids, I hear them laughing. Oh my word, I was working. I was in the middle of working, and they were out there playing, and it took every bone in my body not to just run in there and be like, oh, so cute. Like, I want to picture this moment. This is so cute. I love hearing the little giggles and everything. And I'm like, no, I have to focus on work.
Yeah.
I have to work or else I get nothing done. This is the thing happens when I have kids working with me at home and I'm so focused on them and I'm not focused on my work.
Yeah.
Because I just want to be a part of my kids' life so much.
Makes sense.
So, but, sir, you are the hate. You are the a-hole. Your wife, who is writing this, is the absolute angel. And I wonder what she's going to do to you when you guys get through this. Yeah. Okay, last one, because we are into an hour. We need to probably stop this, but we're good. I just have to do this one. Oh no. I think it got deleted. No. This one was a good one too. Ah, darn it. I think this one got deleted. I will be so mad if I can't find it. Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. He posted it somewhere else and it didn't get deleted. Woo! Okay, good. So, this was posted both in Am I the A-Hole, or AITAH, which is a different one from Am I the A-Hole, but close to it. And then this other one was Am I Overreacting? And it got 11,000 upvotes for AITAH, but then it got deleted. And I literally just saw this last night. So it just got recently deleted, which I got to read this one quickly on the other one so it doesn't get deleted. But the other one didn't get as many upvotes, and maybe because they were posting it in different subreddits. I don't know. The moderators in Reddit are so picky and will delete things if they don't think it's in the right area. And it drives me nuts because there's so many stories I've gone back and I'm like, should have screenshot this. This is terrible. Yeah. So, okay. So I'm hoping it's the same exact one, but it looks like it. So he basically said, am I the a-hole? Or am I overreacting, basically, but saying, for breaking up with my girlfriend after she gave my dog away, or she gave away my dog and lied about it.
I'd break up with her too.
Yeah. just that title alone. So she never once mentioned giving him up. It was her idea to give him up in the first place. She made comments like, you should just open the door and let him run away, but in a joking tone. So I, 29 male, had a German Shepherd named Max. He wasn't just a dog, he was my best friend. I've had him for 10 years, since he was a puppy. He's been with me through everything. My girlfriend, 23 female, however, always complained about him. She said he was too big, too much work, and that she hated how much attention I gave him. There's the kicker. I thought she was just being dramatic until I came home one day and my dog was gone. I freaked out. I searched the entire house, the neighborhood, called shelters, nothing. Then my girlfriend comes home acting all sad and says, I didn't want to tell you like this, but Max ran away. Bull freaking crap.
You would have called right when you lost the dog.
Uh-huh.
He ran away.
I call BS on that. I was heartbroken. I spent days putting up posters, calling vet clinics, driving around looking for him. My girlfriend kept saying things like, maybe it's for the best, and maybe now we can focus on just us. I should have known right then something was off. Oh, yeah. Then a few days later, I was scrolling through Facebook and saw my dog listed for adoption. She can't be serious. This is a joke, I told myself. Wrong, wrong, wrong. She didn't even try to hide it as well. The post said, looking to rehome a wonderful German Shepherd, great with families. And the kicker, she included a photo of me playing with Max in our backyard. I was livid. I contacted the person who made the post, and it turned out she gave Max away to some family without even telling me. Like a halfway home for dogs. Temporary keeps them until they find a permanent home.
Yep.
I drove straight to their house, explained the situation, and thankfully they were decent people and gave him back. When I got home, I confronted her. She tried to gaslight me, saying I was just thinking about what was best for us. You love that dog more than me. I literally despised her and still do. She genuinely seems to think this is okay. I told her to get the heck out of my house. Now she's playing the victim, telling our more like her mutual friends I was emotionally neglectful and chose a dog over our relationship. A few people are actually agreeing with her, saying I should have compromised. But how can I compromise? You can't keep a dog half the time like it's a stepkid. Also, this is after everything oh my word. Also, this is after everything. She trashed my car. I called the cops. Cops say they say nothing that they can do since they can't prove it was her. Is there anyone I can contact to help me? So this was...
Should have got some cameras then.
This is kind of like also asking for legal civil advice. So I don't know if that was even listed in the Am I the A-hole subreddit. So this might have been... Oh my word. This would have made me so mad.
Yeah.
So mad.
It's one thing compromising a dog when you have a family. Like, hey, we're going to have a newborn. I don't think that dog is appropriate. Like, that's what my parents did when my sisters were born. It just wasn't the best idea to have. And when we had a golden retriever that was just loved everybody. My mom was just worried about the dog being too friendly with a newborn. And so, yeah, that was a situation. But if they're just dating and it's his home and his dog, you don't get to just make that decision.
Dog came first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dog came first.
So,
that's all I can think. Is that, first of all, I don't know how long they've been together. It doesn't seem like...
Obviously not too long. She's 23 and he's 29.
Obviously, yeah.
So, not that long.
Hopefully. We hope it wasn't that long. I'm sorry. He should have seen how immature she was from the beginning.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous that she would, like, you love that dog more than me.
If you're going to go down that low of age.
Like, oh my word, honey, you are jealous
of a dog.
Over a dog.
Okay.
Like, I'm sorry. There are people out there who really are, like... They treat their animals better than people. And I get it. Like, we should all treat our pets with love and compassion and care and everything. But, I mean, that's just how everyone is with a companion. And he's had this dog since a puppy for 10 years. 10 years, you know, almost half of your life here. You've had this dog. You've grown up with this dog. This dog is your friend. He's your companion. He's come everywhere with you.
He's pretty much had that dog all his 20s. So, yeah, a lot's going to happen in your 20s.
Yeah. And then for this relationship to happen and she's like, oh my gosh, like, I'm sorry. This is where if I had a pet and I had a relationship, I started dating, and the person and my pet couldn't get along, like, they just could not get over the fact that this animal, like, that we were going to keep this animal at all, I'm sorry, I'd see red flags right there, her mentioning constantly, we should get rid of the dog, and I'll be like, I'm sorry, the dog's going to stay, and if you don't like that...
There's the door. Maybe
we
should leave it open for you.
I don't know if they just have amazing sex for it to be blinding him, but... I'm sorry. I would be like, I'm sorry, this dog came first. There's no way he's going. He's 10 years old, too. That's pretty old for a dog, for a German Shepherd.
Give him a couple years. He'll croak. Because of the age he is.
I mean, unless this dog is like the perfect health and he's going to live for another 5-10 years, which I'm sorry, he's a German Shepherd. If he's a bigger German Shepherd, he's probably going to last for another maybe 5 years at the most.
Yeah.
At the most. Like, they're bigger dogs. They don't last. 10 years is a long time. He's this old dog and you just gave him away from all the family that he's ever known. That's just so heartbreaking. I'm so glad. The thing is, the good thing about this story is that he got the dog back.
Yes.
I would be even more livid if
I would have definitely taken it to
court.
To court.
I would have taken
legal
it to court.
Matters.
Legal matters. This woman gave away my dog she gave away my property without permission.
She was in my house.
Yeah.
Did not speak.
No, yeah. She came in and broke into my house. And stole my dog.
I don't know her.
No, honestly, that relationship, boom.
Would have been
done
instantly.
Done. You are now my enemy.
Especially, you're going to post a picture of the dog.
With him.
With the owner in the picture.
You could even crop him out to make it, like, question.
He said he found it on, like, Facebook or something?
Yes, he found it on
Facebook.
She didn't even hide it well, he said. And the picture had him in it, so of course he knew it was his dog.
Yeah. Or someone else would have saw it and been like, "You're selling your dog?" Like,
yeah, if they have mutual friends, they're just like not questioning about that.
Give him away to one of us, or something. Like
exactly. Why couldn't you? No, because she needed to give him away to someone who didn't know him.
Exactly.
Because otherwise, yeah, he didn't know about it. That's just, and for her to play it off saying he ran away, like
I don't know how to tell you this, but
trust. I honestly would. Unless I didn't have, like, if I didn't date someone next that absolutely loved animals or dogs after that, I'd probably, like, have trust issues on who to date next. And to make sure they don't pull the same stunt, like, because who does that?
Especially, if they're not liking your dog, then it's like, you know what? It's probably not going to work out.
Exactly. If right away from the first date, like, if you don't ask the random question, like,
so
do you like...
feel about dogs?
How do you feel like dogs? Specifically German Shepherds, 10-year-old. Pretty big, but is a lovable man or something.
I've had them for 10 years, so
he comes first.
Since I'm just now meeting you, they come first.
Yep. If something happens to him and something happens to you, I'm probably gonna go to him first.
Yes.
So how do you feel about that? I'm sorry. After that, you kind of have to ask upfront questions right away in a relationship or dating. Because it's not until later that, they kind of talk about, like, they have the same possible, like similarities that they can, like, also have the same as you, that they like, some things that they like and everything. But then you find out later that, I just said that so I could,
have you or
I could keep dating you or be with you because I knew it would make you happy. And then you're just like, was all of that a lie?
Yeah.
Like, I know some people stretch the truth a little bit and they
just find someone with the dog.
But honestly,
that has a dog.
Just find someone who absolutely loves animals. Like Justin and I, when we were in an apartment, I wanted a pet so bad.
Sorry.
Because I grew up with my miniature dachshund he lived for almost 20 years. Yeah. About 20 years. That dog, honestly, him and Justin never got along, but he was super grouchy and old by the time Justin got there.
Wiener dog?
Yeah. And, so... Yeah, there was one time that Justin poked the bear a lot of times, or the wiener a lot of times.
All right.
A little explicit there, but poked the wiener dog. And he'd stick his toe in his face, and my dog was, like, half blind by then, and he's like, you didn't want to get in his face unless he knew who you are. And he'd, like, Justin, of course, had tennis shoes on, so then he'd, like, try and chew into his tennis shoes and... honestly, I've had that dog bite me in the face so many times, but I loved him so much. I was obsessed with him and a little too crazy obsessed with him because I just loved animals so much to the point where I didn't really care about my safety. It's a matter of, it's a wonder and a miracle how I don't have like something torn off my face. But yeah, honestly, if Justin ever like told me he didn't want ever a pet in the future, I would be like, yeah, this isn't gonna work.
Divorce.
Honestly, yeah. No, but when like we were in an apartment, we couldn't have pets, and it drove me nuts because I just wanted a pet so bad. Pets and more kids.
Yeah.
But I was in school, so I was like, nope, I gotta finish school before I before we have another kid. But then I worked at a vet clinic, and I literally would tell everyone, because everyone who worked at the vet clinic had their own animal. They had like some kind of fur baby at home, and I literally just showed pictures of my daughter because that was the only kid I had, the only animal.
This is my fur baby.
This is my animal at home. But they all loved it because then she'd come over, and we had our little vet clinic dog, and he was a German Shepherd as well, and he had an amputated leg, so he was our 3-legged German Shepherd, and oh my word, I'd have so many nights and weekends with that dog, and I loved him. I wish I could have taken him home, because each person would have to volunteer taking him home, and I so wish I could sneak him into our apartment, but my landlord didn't even like having kids.
Yeah.
He absolutely, and we were the only one that had kids in that apartment complex, and he absolutely hated it. That's another story to tell someday, but I could only imagine what he'd think if I ever brought a dog home. So yeah, so that was my pet therapy. That was my therapy, working at that vet clinic. And then as soon as we got a house, I was like, there was like a litter of kittens that were just born from this mother that was from like an animal shelter that worked with the vet clinic, and I was in love. And yeah, Justin only agreed because we lived across the cornfield, and he's like, well, they got to take care of the mice anyways. You got one next to you right now? He's like, loving on you, Mr. Thor. Oh, so yeah, animals, big deal breaker if you have one and you love them and your partner or spouse or girlfriend, boyfriend doesn't get along with them. Nope, sorry. This guy should have known right away with all the signs she was giving. She was giving big fat signs.
It's very obvious she did not care for the dog.
Very obvious. I'm sorry. You can't just have it grow on them. If they keep mentioning it, something's going to happen. Oh, yeah, okay, so that's the last one I was going to say. That was a hot one. Hot one to end on. Bet a lot of people would be livid to just hear that someone give away my dog.
That ever happened to you, yeah.
You are a person I'm going to fight against my whole life or something. I don't know. I'm so mad I can't even think right now. I'd just be so livid to hear about that. I literally came across that one and I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
No. Like, gave away my dog. I literally was just thinking of another story that was similar to this, and then that one popped up, and I'm like, this one was like super fresh, and I was just like, oh my gosh, no, we have to read this one.
Yeah.
So like I said, the theme was the audacity and then the nerve these people have to bring up these issues or to cause these things. I mean, come on. That's just not how it goes, people. How could you think of getting away with this? Literally, giving away a dog that you've had for 10 years. Coming to the doorstep of your ex with your affair baby newborn. I mean, taking a paternity test behind your wife's back who's been with you for 20-ish years. Like, come on. These people have issues.
Crazy.
They honestly are very selfish thinking people.
Yeah.
Like, they just think about themselves and what they think is best for them, and I get it. But if you're going to be in a relationship, which most of these were all being in a relationship, you gotta think equally for each other. That person's in your life.
Yeah.
And if it's not going to work for you, then don't change. Don't change that for that person. Just you should have avoided from the beginning saying that, oh, well, if you can do this, then we'll be okay.
Yeah.
No. Don't do that, people. Don't do that. Be yourself. Be yourself, and that will truly tell the other person if you want to be with them or if they want to be with you. Simple as that. Find your match. There are plenty of people out there. Plenty of people. Take your time in dating. Don't be too quick. I say that as like I had that experience, and I didn't. Right out of high school, I was only dating Justin, and it just stopped from there. I did not have that experience, but I still love him and will always be with him, obviously.
Oh, that's cute.
I know they say like opposite attract, but we're kind of more similar than we know, and it's the similar part is that we are not as motivated to clean and keep up with house chores.
Yeah.
I've literally just forced myself because I can't stand it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, because I know it's not the normal thing to have a house look as cluttered as ours is. I mean, okay, I say that like it's like the most horrible thing ever. We have 3 kids and so many toys and so much junk, and I feel so bad because I feel like everything has a sentimental value for these kids, and I really should just chuck everything.
Yeah.
I really need to go through the room and I have a garbage bag in there right now, and I'm just like, doom, 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 doom. Mm-hmm. Justin wants to throw everything away. We have a Goodwill coming into our town, and I'm so excited because I'm going to give him so much stuff. It's so close. I don't have to travel too far. I literally just have to go up the road, and I can just give him all this stuff.
Yep.
I'm so excited for that. So yes, that is the end, guys, of what I have for stories. I don't know. Do you have anything?
No.
No? Do you have any, like, ideas of, like, themes for the future? I don't know. I just keep popping up. Like the red pill one. Whew! I'm definitely going to bring up some stories about that. I know there's some crazy ones out there. About, like, some crazy men who still think being misogynist and very hardcore.
Yeah.
There are some stories out there. I hear a lot of them after they've seen the Barbie movie.
Oh, this is such a stupid movie.
I haven't even seen it yet. I've been waiting to see it with my mom and my sister.
Irritated.
And we never can find time.
Disrespectful to people who actually loved Barbie.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I don't really... It's obviously not a kid's movie. It is definitely an adult portrayed movie of people who grew up with Barbie. And it's not even talking about basically Barbie as much as
Barbie.
It's about political. It's very political.
About, yeah. So, independent women,
which
Barbie.
Hello. Yes, we want
was
independent.
Made for Ken. Like that was the whole point of Barbie.
That was the
Barbie
whole
and
point
Ken.
of it. Yes. Like, why couldn't this be a happy together, like what we all grew up with, not like tear us down?
Don't add Ken into the movie if you're gonna do woman empowerment.
Exactly.
Just make it about Barbie. That would have been just fine.
Or make Ken be more okay and being like, hey, you're independent. That's great. Yeah. What can I do to help? Like, why couldn't they get along more? Why does it have to be...
I don't know. That movie was just stupid.
I don't know. I haven't even seen it all. I've seen enough scenes, and I've heard enough things where it's like, I'm sorry.
Movie.
There are things, though, that people have, like, when they were dating, and I hear that they would take their boyfriends to go see it with them, which, honestly, don't... It's a Barbie movie. Don't take your spouse. But honestly, if you wanted to get, like... I think a lot of people did take their spouse or their partners to go see the movie because they wanted to see how they would react to women empowerment or women independency. And I'm like, all for it, for women independency. Go for it. Like, obviously, this is a new day of age. Like, we all have to take care of ourselves and be independent because obviously no one's going to take care of everyone. Like, honestly, you have to take care of yourself. You have to be out there. There's so much that you just can't live like the old days these days today, and that's okay. We need change in life. We can keep some things and change some things. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of things where people afterward would be like, it was, the guys would be like, it's so stupid, women shouldn't be acting like that, and you're just like, what do you mean not acting like that? But then there is some times when women, it's a little too much. It's gone a little too far where it's like, you can be independent, you can be women empowered, or the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But let's just, I get it. It's not how life goes. We can't all get along. We can't all be equal. It's just not how life went.
Yeah.
It's how we were basically envisioned how life was. Oh my word, this cat. He's meowing like crazy. I think he's locked out of a room. But anyways, yeah. Honestly, it's just, it was intense. Let's just say that. We get so intense about all these empowerments about everyone, and I don't want to go political here because honestly, it's just not even worth it. I just want everyone to get along and just live my life and raise my kids in a not so crazy world.
Good luck.
Good luck, yeah. Honestly, it's crazy out there. So I'm sorry if I offended anyone. I really don't mean to.
I don't care.
I don't.
Be offended.
I don't want to offend anyone, but I honestly I sometimes just don't care. And I don't mean that as in I don't care about certain things more than others. I just don't care altogether. Like, I'm just trying to live my life. I try and stay out of politics because I don't get up here. You get down. Get down. I know you love me, but I am trying to record here. You stay with her. So anyways, guys, yeah, that was a rabbit trail right there. Anyways, so we're done here.
Bye.
We're not. I'm just saying, we're done with that subject. We're not even going to finish it because it's not even worth it right now. We are not going to get heated up on all these things. But yes, as in ideas, I have lots of stuff. We got lots of themes going on. You'll enjoy the next one I have, or the one. I don't know if Justin's recording will be before this one or the next one. I can't remember, but either way, we're recording this one first and then recording his, and his will be a fun one, the one that you didn't want to be a part of.
Yeah, no.
Which surprised him. He was really surprised because he's like, "Are you gonna do that with Brandy?" And I'm like, "The poop one."
Oh, yeah, no, he's a freaking idiot.
So I'm just like, I don't know. Sometimes people like those stories, so we're gonna try it. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna go full on out there with just
No.
no, yeah, everything's public. So, okay, guys. Well, like for right now. I'm not even say like and subscribe because I get annoyed myself saying that too many times. So even though I just said it right there. So, but if you have anything you want to reach out to us with, email, the Reddit Randos at gmail.com. Reach out. Other than that, I really don't have much to say. I'm just here to say stories and react. And woo, this was a doozy today. So. Oh, what was that person that said? Well, buckle up, potatoes. This is a doozy. So, buckle up, potatoes. This was a doozy. So, okay, guys. Well, we'll talk to you later. Or not talk to you. I say this so weirdly.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
You